Right, fight fans, welcome back to Naps, Taps and Snaps, where we settle the real important debates. Today, we're tackling the Everest of arguments, the holy grail of pub brawls. Who is the actual MMA GOAT? Forget your feelings, forget your favorite fighter's highlight reel. We're going full nerd on this one. We've all got our opinions, right? But opinions are, well, you know, everyone's got one, and most of them suck. So, we did what any sane person would do. We asked a robot to solve it for us. Yep, we fed ChatGPT a bunch of criteria, and it spat out this thing. This framework breaks it down into cold, hard numbers. Wins, losses, titles, finishes, how often they make or miss weight, the whole shebang, even penalties for popping hot or missing weight. We'll get into the nitty-gritty later, but for now, just know this. This is an objective-based scoring system. Whether you think it is, well, that's what the comments section is for. Before we get to the main event, let's pour one out for the lads who almost made the cut. The nearly men, the coulda-beens, the what-ifs of MMA history. We've got a stacked list of honourable mentions here. Alexander Volkanovski, a dominant featherweight champion with relentless pace, elite striking, and world-class fight IQ. Stipe Miocic, the most accomplished heavyweight champion in UFC history, known for his boxing, durability, and wrestling. Daniel Cormier, former two-division champion with Olympic-level wrestling and knockout power. Conor McGregor, UFC's biggest star, a former featherweight and lightweight champion with pinpoint precision and devastating left-hand power. Kamaru Usman, former welterweight king, blending suffocating wrestling with an evolved striking game. Max Holloway, volume striking machine and former featherweight champion with legendary durability and pace. Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist turned UFC double champ, known for his elite wrestling and rapid skill evolution. Matt Hughes, Hall of Fame welterweight legend with dominant wrestling, vicious ground and pound, and multiple title reigns. BJ Penn, one of the most naturally gifted fighters ever, a two-division champion with elite Brazilian jiu-jitsu and knockout power. Dominic Cruz, the most elusive bantamweight champion in history, known for his unorthodox footwork and cerebral striking. Frankie Edgar, former lightweight champion with legendary cardio, relentless pace, and ironclad durability. Randy Couture, UFC pioneer and two-division champion, mastering clinch warfare and wrestling dominance. Dan Henderson, MMA legend and former Pride and Strikeforce champ, feared for his iconic H-bomb right hand. Cain Velasquez, former heavyweight champion with relentless wrestling, cardio, and unmatched pressure. Mirko Cro Cop, Pride legend with a terrifying left high kick that ended careers. Legends, all of them, but not quite legendary enough for our robot overlords. Kicking off our top 10, it's the last stylebender himself, Israel Adesanya. Now, some of you are probably already screaming at your screens. He's too new! He lost to Blachowicz! Relax, the algorithm doesn't lie. Izzy's striking is undeniable, a masterclass in precision and timing. He racked up those performance bonuses, defended his middleweight title multiple times, and even dared to go up in weight, though that didn't go quite to plan. The framework loves his activity and his finishes. He's a modern great, even if he hasn't been around as long as some of the old-timers. The Eagle, the undefeated. So why is a man everyone talks about being the GOAT only number 9? The undefeated record looks great on paper, and the framework gave him full points. However, with him only defending the belt a handful of times and never going for a belt in a secondary division, Khabib's early retirement may have affected him more than we thought. At number 8, it's the submission savant, the man with more finishes than anyone else in UFC history, Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. His guy's a walking highlight reel, a jiu-jitsu wizard who turns opponents into pretzels. He holds the UFC records for both submissions and overall finishes. He's fought a murderer's row of lightweights, and he's usually the one leaving them unconscious. Sure, he's had some early career setbacks, and the weight-cutting issues haven't helped, but the framework recognizes that sheer, undeniable finishing ability. He's a threat from anywhere. Coming in at number 7, the King of Rio, the former featherweight dominator, Jose Aldo. For almost a decade, Aldo was the man at 145. We're talking a combined 9 title defenses in the WEC and UFC. His leg kicks were legendary, his speed was blinding, and his takedown defense was impenetrable. The framework rewards that incredible win streak and his long, dominant reign. Yeah, the McGregor knockout is a tough one to swallow, but it doesn't define his legacy. He's a true legend, a pioneer of the lower weight classes. At number 6, the undisputed queen of women's MMA, the lioness herself, Amanda Nunes. This woman is a force of nature. The first woman to become a 2-division champion in the UFC, and she did it by destroying legends. We're talking about knocking out Ronda Rousey in 48 seconds, Chris Cyborg in 51 seconds, Holly Holm with a head kick. The framework loves the double champ status, the finishes, and the sheer dominance. She's not just the GOAT of women's MMA, she's one of the greatest fighters, period. At number 5, the man many consider the most complete mixed martial artist of all time, Georges Rush St-Pierre. GSP was the blueprint. He could wrestle, he could strike, he could submit you. He was a 2-division champion with 9 title defenses at welterweight. He avenged his only 2 losses. The framework rewards his consistency, his well-roundedness, and his ability to adapt to any opponent. He was a master strategist, a true martial artist, and an absolute legend. The only argument is, people find him boring. At number 4, the man, the myth, the legend, the last emperor, Fedor Emelianenko. This guy was untouchable in his prime. We're talking a decade-long undefeated streak, fighting and beating the best heavyweights in the world, mostly outside the UFC. The framework can't ignore that kind of dominance, even if it wasn't in the octagon. He was a master of sambo, he had knockout power in both hands, and he had an aura of invincibility that few fighters have ever matched. He's the GOAT for many, and the framework puts him damn close. Rounding out our top 3, the man with the most ridiculous highlight reel in MMA history, the Spider, Anderson Silva. This guy didn't just win fights, he stylized on his opponents. He was a striking artist, a counter-punching genius, with a highlight reel that's just absurd. The framework rewards his 16-fight win streak, his 10 title defenses, and his sheer creativity inside the octagon. He broke records, he defied expectations, and he made us all believe in the impossible. He's a true icon of the sport. And at number 2, someone we're all expecting at this point. It's Johnny Bones Jones. The man, the myth, the controversy. Let's be real, without those pesky failed drug tests, Jones would probably be untouchable at number 1. He's the youngest champion in UFC history. He's a 2-division champ, though the heavyweight reign is still developing. He's technically undefeated, if you ignore that one weird disqualification. The framework dings him for the, extracurriculars, but his in-cage dominance is just too much to ignore. And at number 1, the king of the mountain, according to our emotionless robot overlords, it's Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. Look, I know some of you wanted GSP or Jones or even Fedor, but the numbers don't lie. Mighty Mouse's reign of terror over the flyweight division was historic. 11 title defenses. He fought everyone they put in front of him, and he usually made it look easy. He's a complete fighter, a true martial artist, and according to the ChatGPT-powered gospel, the GOAT. And there you have it, the definitive 100% controversy-free list of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Totally no debates to be had here, right? Now it's your turn. Who did we absolutely nail? Who did we completely butcher? And most importantly, who wins in a fight? Prime Mighty Mouse or a slightly past his prime, but still absolutely unhinged Honey Badger? Drop your hot takes in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more MMA madness. See you in the next one.